lot of people think that I'll just start up a business and, I just need a little bit of startup cash and that's it. But unfortunately, that's not how it goes. You have to think about longevity. You have to think about, startup, so equipment. You have to think about office space or building space. If you're going to be renting, if you're going to be buying, you have to think about what are the items that I'm going to be out for this business. You have startup costs, you have utilities, you have inventories possibly. It depends on what kind of business you're going to be doing. You also have to figure out if you're going to be an LLC. That's an extra expense, depending on the liability aspect of your business. If you have high liability possibilities, then you're definitely going to want to do an LLC. If you don't, then you might not need that. But definitely you have a lot more things to think about than just a simple, I need just a little bit of startup cash. So that would be my recommendation is, go through and make a list of everything you possibly could think of in order to decide, what your startup costs would be. So seriously, whenever you do start up a business, a lot of times when you do start, you're not going to immediately have an influx of cash. So you want to have a little bit of fallback money or a little bit of a nest egg in order to be able to make up for those things, unexpected costs, low sales, low income, that kind of thing. So you want to make sure that you have something to fall back on in times of sparseness, for lack of a better way to say it, or a good example, COVID, things like that. Not everything will take off as fast as you want it to. Sometimes you have a lot of upfront costs that you're not anticipating. So it's always better to think, okay, I need a little bit more setback just in case. That's what I consider, your just in case fund. When you think about monthly expenses, you don't always think about everything involved in that. So you have to think about, okay, do I have anything I'm bringing to this business? Do I have equipment? Do I have supplies? You might need a desk. You don't think about those kind of things, but you want to sit there and think about what do I need money for in order to get this business going? So you're going to think about all aspects. Once you think about what is involved to just get it started up, then you have to think about what is going to be coming out of my pocket each and every month for expenses. So you're thinking utilities, you're thinking supplies. You have to think about other things such as, incidentals. That a lot of people don't think about. Internet, software. I could go on and on and on. But the best thing to do is sit down, think of every possible thing that would go into your business. When you go and get a loan and things like that, you have to stop and think about, okay, I have this much money coming in, I have this much money going out. So I want to make sure that I have enough to cover that. And then if I'm taking out a loan in addition to that, I have to be able to pay that loan back. So you want to make sure you've got just enough to have that and be able to survive as well. If this is your sole source of income, you also want to make sure that it's, going to have enough money to take care of you as well. And you have to stop and think too, I can't realistically say that I'm going to make this much money based on a dream. It's great, and if you do, that's wonderful, but a bank is not going to invest in a dream. A bank is going to invest in reality, and you have to be prepared to show them on paper and in theory what that's going to make. So you have to base it on the real things in our area or even on the internet. They're going to compare things. They're not going to look and say, okay, I'm going to make $100,000 this year, and you need to give me money based on that. You have to be realistic about it. Everybody wants it to succeed. That's of course, in the foremost of our minds, but it's not always reality. They're taking a risk on you, a bank is. So you have to make yourself look like a good risk. Unfortunately, making up numbers is not a good risk because they're going to look at prior businesses, they're going to look at market for the type of business that you have, and they're going to compare. And if it's way out there and you have these great, grandiose projections, they're going to say, hope you get money somewhere else because we can't give it to you based on this. And that's the best reality I can give you. So some programs that you might consider when you're starting up a business to do payroll, bookkeeping, those kind of things would be Square. They not only do credit cards and things like that, but they are also offering a lot of payroll advantages. They do the reports, they do the payments, they do everything for a small fee. It's really not, it's very reasonable. Then you have QuickBooks. QuickBooks is another good program. It's very user-friendly. It's very easy to find things on the internet in order, when you have questions, their forums are really good. Then you have Sage Work 50 Accounting. That is another one, used to be called Peachtree. The other thing is you could always do this through an accountant. They take a lot of the pressure off of, all of that. They take care of your payroll, they take care of your payroll deposits, they take care of your quarterly payrolls, they take care of your year-end payroll. That's a lot of work that takes off of you as the business owner and puts it on them, and it's kind of peace of mind because they are the ones responsible. They know the laws, they're up to date on everything, and you don't have to worry about that. So that's something else to think about as well. Well, when you go and try to decide on an accountant that's best for you, I always suggest to people, interview your accountant. For one thing, know what you need, okay? Or have questions about things that you need. You need someone that's very knowledgeable about your business, what type of business you're doing. Not everyone knows everything about every business, and that's okay. There are some people that specialize. You have, if you have inventory and things like that, then you're gonna want somebody that's better at cost accounting, and that's not everybody's forte. If you do a daycare, you're gonna want somebody who knows, the ins and outs of like the grants and things like that are available out there, as well as, the laws. There are so many laws for all the different businesses that you want somebody that you can feel comfortable talking to, that you have someone who is willing to give you advice. If they are very hands-off and just say, you bring your work in, I'll take care of it and I'll give it right back, that's not a really good accountant. You want somebody who's going to work with you on things, kind of give you some advice to help you with your taxable state. Also, if you don't decide up front what kind of taxable entity that you want to be, you definitely want to talk to an accountant about that, because they're going to tell you the best way to save tax and the best way to set up your business so that it's protected and it's the most profitable and to save you the most tax. So there are all kinds of aspects when you're searching for an accountant, and there's nothing wrong with interviewing an accountant just like you would an employee. So I would definitely suggest that.